What's up, guys? It's Chachi Power here with Rocket Punch Army to do a review of a high complete model, or HCM, Heavy Metal L-Gaim MK-II. This is the A-class Heavy Metal new L-Gaim, which is done in 1/144 scale. Right? As you move up, you'll see this is not a your typical fancy box from Bandai. It's actually meant to be a completed model, really. So not a lot of craziness going on with the box here, but it is nice regardless. It has a nice feel, a nice matte finish. It looks like something very special is inside. And I managed to pick up a few of these high complete models from the owner of Outer Limits in Clifton, New Jersey. They had a lot of cool stuff there, comics and whatnot and toys, and unfortunately they closed down. But I ran into the owner, long story, but I ran into the owner and he took me to a garage where he kept all the stuff from the store. Picked myself a bunch of stuff up really cheap, which was awesome. And this is one of them. So we're going to go ahead and slide this open. I believe this is the very first time I'm opening this. I don't remember ever opening this for any reason, so hopefully there is a toy inside. So you can see never opened, never unfolded here. All right, so you guys are seeing this for the first time. And of course I do want to be careful. This is a vintage toy. I don't know how much it goes for lately, but I'm sure people really push the prices up on eBay. Alright, and I'm doing it sideways here so it can fit in the camera. So we'll start off with this little piece of paper, which says a bunch of stuff in Japanese or Spanish, I'm not sure. And it comes with these little cards that you used to be able to put in little tiny binders. So anytime you would collect these, you can put them in the little binders and get some details on the figure, right? And I have done a L-Gaim review of the other vintage one that falls apart and breaks into pieces. This seems to be a different model of one of the robots, because it is in a darkish gray with red, and I love what I'm seeing so far. Let's just take a look at this real quick before we continue. So here's the instructions. And again, it's a model, so there's some things that are going to be on a sprue. I am not detaching them, guys. I hate when I can't show you everything, but again, there's some stuff I'm needing to get rid of, and they're a little harder to sew when they're loose. So inside it shows you everything you can do. And what's awesome about these robots, at least the other one that I have, is it looks like it's playing a guitar with the gun. There's actually a cord that connects from the robot to the gun, and it looks like he's holding it like a guitar. I thought that was really awesome. Oh, right here's a picture. Alright, so it kind of looks like he's holding a guitar, and he's called Heavy Metal L-Gaim right here, so that's awesome. Love heavy metal robots. So let's take a look at the robot and see if I could pull him out somehow. Don't think there's metal in these guys, but yeah, so it has a feel like a completed Gundam model with slightly better plastic. Or not that Gundam models have bad plastic, I mean like a thicker plastic. And this popped off of somewhere here, just like a Gundam model would do. Alright, so we'll just reattach that, no big deal. Now on the vintage L-Gaim that I have, the bigger one with the die cast, the problems were with these hoses, they would break. They were like a gray plastic. I hope that's not the case with this little model, because I do want to show you at least some articulation. I can't really get this to articulate here. Yeah, I don't know where that's supposed to go, but at least we can see the figure. Alright, and here we go with the head. Got the shoulders, and they I thought there would be poly caps, but they're actually, the arms are screwed in to give you some movement there. And I'm being very delicate with this, guys, because I don't know if these are fragile. There's probably a collector out there that knows these and saying, please don't do that, don't turn this, and all of a sudden it breaks. So I don't know. So don't think that these are fragile just because I'm being careful with it. I'm just being careful with it just to be careful. I do see die cast, guys. The hip joints, see them right in there. They look to be ball joints, and they are die cast metal, so at least the hips will survive. We have some waist action. Oh, look at that. Is that rubber? It's actually rubber waist. I don't know if you can see that flexing, but that whole center section is rubber. That's a pretty cool, neat little thing there. Then you got the feet down here. There's several things that do move on the feet. The toes move. It does have a knee, but it's kind of putting a lot of pressure on these hoses. So I don't know if the knee is supposed to, I don't know, can't really tell, guys, so forget about that. The elbows do have a screw right there, but it doesn't look like they move forward, do they? Oh, they do. Alright, again, just being careful with that. And you have the hands, and you have articulated fingers. You have the index finger, which is individually articulated, which is awesome for a toy of this age and size. And then you got the other three, sort of like a masterpiece figure, except the thumb is fixed. And speaking of age, I think I said in the beginning this was vintage. It's not necessarily vintage. I think vintage is supposed to be 25 years or older. This is not that old. Just has a feel of a vintage figure. But let's see if there's a year on here. It looks like it says 2002 right here, so I don't know. But in any case, it's an old figure. They're not for sale anymore. They're discontinued. And we're going to move ahead and look at some of the accessories here. So you get this little ship looking thing, which I'm sure is going to attach to them in just a moment. You get a hose here, and something that just fell. Looks like part of the gun here. You get this shield looking thing, and then you get these pieces which are on sprues here, which I won't be taking off. So this is where the gun pieces would be, and more hoses, all right, which would form the guitar looking gun, and everything else is on sprues, so we'll be leaving that alone. Now to attach this piece, we're going to just peg it into the back here, and the shield will peg right to that hole right there, so we'll go ahead and do that just like that. And a lot of those pieces that are in the book, there's a little plastic loops which are meant to be like little handles or whatever. They go around these bits here. I do want to show you in the book, at least, since I'm not going to be breaking them off the sprue, but just so you can see what this figure can do. Now apparently the legs do detach, right? They're on a peg there, the die cast peg like I mentioned, and the knees do not bend. All right, so I was trying to bend them. They don't bend. It doesn't show them bending anywhere, but it does show you how to build the gun right here and attach all the different hoses. So there's a bunch of hoses actually, 3 here, maybe on the other side, and they attach to the back, right on the side of his butt, and then the little fins that attach to the back here, right above his butt. And here's the little loops I was talking about that go on the shoulders, and then the rest just shows how to put the shield on and the little backpack, which I just showed you how to do. And apparently he does have a flight mode, so I'll try and at least show you guys that. It might not look the way it's supposed to, since a lot of the fins and everything are not attached, but I will show you how the legs move to form the flight mode. So the flight mode is a bit rubbish in my opinion. It requires you having to pull the arms off, which is a little bit difficult to do and a little bit scary since the plastic is old. And remove these pieces, reattach the arms like so, then spin them back like this. And believe me, it's not a great transformation, guys. So if that's what you're waiting for, you're going to be sorely disappointed. It's literally just a robot bending his knees. Alright, so I think I got that right. Going to reattach this here, and again it does have those little fins that you can attach in the back to make it look a little more airplane-y, but it's not going to do much when you see what you have to do with the knees. Right here, which is this. Bring the feet back. And that's flight mode, guys. I don't think it's supposed to look like any type of jet, but that is flight mode. So as you can see, it does have knees. They just bend not at the knees. Alright, so in case you needed that kind of articulation, don't try and bend it here. It's going to be a lot higher. Now guys, if you want like full-blown proper toy of a robot from this series or something similar to this from the L-Gaim line, I wouldn't suggest buying that one. It's more of a static display that you can weather, sort of like the Takotoku toys of the 80s. Alright, you may want to get something more like this, which is a proper collectible here. This is the Soul of Chogoking. Let me get this guy out of the way. This is Soul of Chogoking spec L-Gaim, right? Which I think, in my opinion, looks a lot better. And it's got die-cast parts, and you don't really have to worry about it breaking into pieces because it is a toy. And I use the word toy very loosely with this guy because I don't know if you're going to want to give one of these to a little kid to play with, but you know what I'm talking about. Just something you can fiddle with that's going to withstand the abuse. Alright guys, thank you for joining me in this unboxing. If you guys were looking forward to seeing this kind of design robot being put together and whatnot, don't fret, because I am doing a review of a proper modern version of the L-Gaim toy from the Soul of Chogokin spec line. So we'll be able to fiddle around with that one a lot more than we can with this one.